We often think of cyborgs as something straight out of the movies, right? But what if I told you that line between science fiction and reality has already started to blur? That people who are part human, part machine, are actually walking among us right now?
We all have this picture in our heads, probably from a movie we saw. But is that the whole story? Or is the reality of what a cyborg is much closer and way more common than we've been led to believe?
Okay, so let's get on the same page. The official definition of a cybernetic organism, or cyborg for short, isn't just a half-robot action hero. It's any being that combines biology and technology to either restore or enhance their abilities. And when you think about it, that's a pretty broad definition.
In fact, that definition means you almost certainly know a cyborg. There are over 1 million people with cochlear implants that let them hear. There are people with artificial hearts, advanced bionic limbs, even bionic eyes that can restore sight. They're not in the future, they're here. They're our friends, our family, our colleagues.
So today, we're going to dive into this hidden world. We'll look at how technology is letting us sense the impossible, how we're rebuilding the human body, how we're starting to connect our brains directly to computers, and finally, we'll ask, what does the human of tomorrow actually look like?
All right, first up, sensing the impossible. This is where it gets really interesting, because we're not just talking about fixing something that's broken, we're talking about adding entirely new senses to the human experience.
And to really get this, you have to meet Neil Harbison. He was born completely colorblind. He only saw in shades of gray. But he didn't just want to restore his sight, he wanted to create a brand new sense. And his journey actually led to him becoming the world's first government-recognized cyborg.
So how in the world does he do it? Well, he has an antenna implanted directly into his skull. Seriously. A camera on the end detects a color. Then a chip translates that color's specific light frequency into a unique sound vibration. That vibration is sent through an implant in his skull straight to his inner ear. So he doesn't see color, he hears it.
And the result is just profound. It's not like he just hears the word yellow when he looks at a banana. He can literally hear a symphony of notes in a sunset. And because his device senses light frequencies, he can perceive colors that are totally invisible to the human eye, like infrared and ultraviolet.
And Neil is not alone in this. There's a whole community of biohackers out there experimenting with new senses. You've got people with tiny magnetic implants in their fingertips that let them feel magnetic fields. Or a device called the North Sense, an implant on your chest that gently vibrates whenever you face true north. It's like having a built-in compass. Some even have seismic sensors that jiggle when there's an earthquake anywhere on the planet.
Okay, so these new senses are wild, right? But what about rebuilding the parts of us we can actually see? Let's shift from augmenting our perception to augmenting the physical body itself.
And for this, you have to hear the story of Hugh Herr. He was a world-class rock climber. Then, at just 17, a terrible accident left him with severe frostbite, and he lost both of his legs below the knee. Doctors told him his climbing career was over, done.
But instead of accepting that, he dedicated his entire life to engineering a solution. See, traditional prosthetics were awful. They were heavy, passive, uncomfortable. They just didn't work well. So he designed something radically better. Bionic, brain-controlled limbs with microprocessors that actually mimic a natural walking motion. This technology didn't just let him walk again, it let him climb at an even higher level than before. He went beyond restoration into true enhancement.
And the innovation in this space is just exploding. Let's do a quick speed round. We have drummers with bionic arms that can hold 2 sticks at once and play rhythms impossible for a human. We've got pioneers like Jesse Sullivan, who can control his bionic arm using nerves that were rerouted to his chest muscles. And we even have something called osseointegration, where a titanium implant is fused directly to bone, creating this super strong, stable connection point.
So we've talked new senses and new limbs. But what about the final frontier? The big one. The direct connection between the human mind and a machine.
And listen, this isn't sci-fi anymore. This is happening as we speak. You've probably heard of Neuralink. Well, their first human patient, who is paralyzed from the shoulders down, can now play video games using only his thoughts.
So how does this mind control actually work? Well, it kind of boils down to 3 steps. First, these superfine electrode threads are implanted in the brain to read the neural signals. Second, some really powerful software decodes the intention behind those signals, turning a thought into a command. And finally, that command is used to control something external, like a cursor on a screen or a robotic arm.
And you have to wonder where this could go. I mean, could this be the first step towards a kind of telepathy?
Professor Kevin Warwick, they sometimes call him Captain Cyborg, actually conducted an experiment where he linked his nervous system to his wife's over the internet. They sent the first ever direct electronic signals between two human nervous systems. It was basic, but it was real.
And all of this brings us to our final section. If this is what's possible today, right now, what does the human of the future look like? What happens when these incredible technologies become normal?
Just think of it like a future upgrades menu. How about bionic eyes that can zoom, record video, or give you a heads-up display with information? Or memory implants that let you digitally store and perfectly recall your experiences? Limbs that can repair themselves? Internal monitors that track your health 24/7? Maybe even that direct mind-to-mind data exchange we were just talking about.
It's an absolutely incredible vision of the future. But this level of power, this deep merging of human and machine, it forces us to slow down and ask some very, very important questions. I mean, think about it. If your memories are stored on a chip, who owns that data? Is it you? Is it the corporation that made the implant? Is it the government? And what can they do with your most personal thoughts?
And what about security? We worry about our phones and computers getting hacked all the time. But what happens when the device that can be hacked is your arm, your eye, or even your brain itself?
And maybe the biggest societal question of all, what happens when these powerful enhancements are available, but they're expensive? Do we risk creating a brand new class system, one that isn't based on money, but on biology? The enhanced and the unenhanced? That's a divide far greater than anything we have today.
Which really brings us to the ultimate question. As we continue to upgrade ourselves piece by piece, part by part, at what point do we stop being human and become something else? And maybe more importantly, who gets to draw that line?